everyone, my name is Teacher Abigail. I am a VIPKid teacher and I have been full-time for the last 8 months now. I think I said 6 months in some other video, but that's not true. I've been teaching with them since April, which now would be 8 months. Time has just flown by. But anyway, I now help to coach and help out new applicants to VIPKid to get them through the hiring process and get them hired on, learning everything they need to know about being a teacher and answering all their questions. So if you do want to just go ahead and apply to VIPKid and you're not here for the video, just the application is linked in the description box of this video. And if you do fill that out, it only takes 30 seconds and I can be your personal coach and mentor throughout the whole hiring process. If you are here just for the video to learn more or to think about kind of becoming a teacher with VIPKid, then welcome, and I hope you find this video useful. Today I'm going to talk about 7 things, yeah, I had to count, I think it's 7 VIPKid teacher secrets, so things that you learn after a while of being a VIPKid teacher. Obviously, all these things are true for me, and I know they're true for some other teachers that I know. I can't speak for all teachers out there. Obviously, we're all very different, but I hope that if you are a VIPKid teacher, you can relate to this, and if you're not, hopefully you'll find it interesting. So first thing, we have a system with our teaching, with our class preparation. Like, we have it down to a science. And when I say that, I mean, like, when I look over classes now, I know exactly, I have a piece of paper, exactly what I'm going to write down to kind of take notes to have during my class. I know exactly what I'm going to have beside me while I teach. I'm going to have my water bottle, I'm going to have my lip gloss, I'm going to have like a snack or something in case I need it between classes, my phone charger on this side, like my props right here. Like, I've got it all set up, and I'm pretty sure all teachers are like this with their own kind of system. Another thing I completely have a system for is in my preparation for classes, my props that I use during class. I'm curious to know if other teachers are the same way, but I started off teaching with very limited props. So I only taught with a whiteboard and some markers, and I had one reward system or something. And I know that a lot of teachers teach with very few props, and I loved it. I did that for like hundreds of classes. But then eventually I kind of got the feeling like, you know, I want to get some like flashcard visuals. I was teaching younger kids, and it was just a lot of visual kind of learning, and I felt like I needed to incorporate more of that. So I actually found online I could pay for, it was only like $8 or something, but I could buy like this set of flashcards that was already pre-made by another VIPKid teacher for every single unit of each level. There was like a set of flashcards for each lesson. So now I just have those in baggies organized like with the number of the lesson in like a baggie. I did that probably 3 or 4 months ago, and I've been using those every single day. So it's like I never have to make new flashcards. I never have to make new props. My prep now is so easy, which brings me to point number 2, which is class prep does not have to take longer than a minute. Yeah, sure, okay, like with anything, there are some teachers who prepare longer, and that's fine. That's just what they want to do. Some prepare for like 15 minutes or longer than that because, you know, they really want to be super prepared for the class. But most teachers I talk to, because VIPKid already gives you all the materials and like the whole curriculum, most teachers don't prepare more than a minute like for the class. I know personally it takes me probably like 60 seconds to just look through the class material, jot down a couple notes, grab my flashcards that I've already had for months to like, you know, organize for each class, and then just set it out and I'm ready to go. Like, it takes me no time at all. And I remember in the beginning I used to take so much time. I mean, I would like go over every single slide of the lesson plan like a million times, and I was so nervous. And that's another thing. Okay, so point number 3, your nerves do lessen over time. And I did not believe this when I first started. I am such an anxious person. I am so prone to being worried about things, to overthinking things. And teaching my first few classes, I remember thinking, there is no way this is ever going to come naturally to me. There is no way this is ever not going to be absolutely terrifying to like open my camera and teach this student, because I was so nervous those first few classes. And let me tell you, like hundreds and hundreds of classes later, it is so natural for me to teach. Like, sure, every once in a while, if I've had like a week off and then I'm going back into teaching like 8 classes back to back or something, I might get a tiny bit nervous before I teach, but I never, ever get as nervous as I did in the beginning, and I really hardly get nervous at all most of the time. So that is a great thing. Once you've been a teacher for a while, it literally becomes secondhand, and it helps because also when you're teaching the same levels, you'll end up teaching the same lesson like many times, so it almost becomes like a memorization thing where you know what props to use, how to teach the class, like how to teach that exact lesson, and it just gets so much easier over time. Number 4, we call the fireman all the time. And if you're new to VIPKid, the fireman is the tech support that works for VIPKid, and you can call them into the classroom, the virtual classroom, at any time to handle any tech issues. If there's a behavior problem, you just click a button, click what the problem is, and hit call, and they come in and they kind of see both of your screens. They figure out what's wrong and they fix it, or they call the kids' parents and communicate to them in Chinese and help them take care of whatever problem it is. And honestly, when I was learning about VIPKid, I thought the fireman was there for like the fluke times, like 1 in 100 classes something happens. But now that I've been teaching with them for so long, I can tell you, and I don't even know if this is normal, but I feel like I call the fireman probably like every other day, because, you know, there's always going to be like, maybe there's like an audio issue, or you can't see the student because they didn't turn their camera on or something like that. And I used to think it was such a big deal to call them, but really it's like totally normal to call them all the time, and it's actually super convenient because they handle like every problem imaginable. I mean, I've had times where it's like the kid like is distracted, or, you know, doesn't want to pay attention or like learn that day, and or runs off the camera or something, and I can't see them, and it's so nice. Like, I don't have to communicate directly with the parents. I can just call in tech support and like they will handle everything. It makes it so easy. So point number 5, parent feedback is important, but parents are not as harsh as you think they would be. I remember at the beginning of teaching, I thought parents were going to analyze my every little move of teaching, like every little thing I said, and put it in their feedback to me to rate me as a teacher. I was terrified of this happening. And I've come to realize that even a lot of times when I taught a class and thought, okay, I feel like that went pretty terribly, and I feel like I looked pretty bad and all this, the parent will still leave me a 5 apple rating, which is the highest rating, or they won't leave me a rating at all, because it's also very normal to not get ratings. You get normally, I think the average for getting ratings is like 20%. Of your classes will get rated, so honestly, like, a lot of them won't even get rated, and when they do, like, it's normally going to be high. Like, you'll have the occasional fluke feedback where you might get a low score and it doesn't make sense, but even if that happens, you can have the company review it. They record the classes so they can look it over, and they can actually strike that rating from your profile so it won't be visible. And I can go more in depth about ratings in another video because that's kind of its whole own topic, but needless to say, I was really nervous about this in the beginning, and I know now that, you know, despite the fact that ratings do matter, feedback is important, but at the same time, it's not as terrible and stressful, and it's much more forgiving as you would expect it to be. Number 6, smiling's our favorite. Seriously, I have never smiled as much in my life as I do during my classes, and it is how the company trains you to teach, and it makes sense because when you smile, you make the kid more comfortable, you set the positive tone. Like, there's a communication barrier with language, so your facial expression really needs to show that you're happy, you're engaged, you're a positive person, you're encouraging them. Especially for me, because I teach mostly younger kids, it's so important that I am constantly smiling. And I know a lot of teachers will get like face massaging things and stuff because you are just smiling so much. Like, until you're teaching with this company, you will not believe how much you will be smiling during your classes. And finally, number 7. We get attached to our students, and I mean like really attached. Like, I, at the beginning, kind of thought, you know, I looked at it like a job. I mean, I was really passionate about it. I was excited for it, but I also felt like, okay, this is a way for me to make money doing something I'm passionate about, and of course money is like a huge element of it for anyone. But what I really didn't expect was to develop such a deep connection with students, especially since it's, you know, over the internet. We're not meeting in person. It's all through like technology. But I've had students that have had like over a dozen or like 20 times or more, and you really start to build this kind of connection after the first couple classes where it's so nice to see like the same student, and sometimes they'll draw you pictures, and I have some students that tell me they love me, and it's just like the cutest thing ever. And you don't think that you're going to form those kinds of attachments, but then once you're actually teaching students, it just like totally melts your heart in your classes to have students like being so sweet and having that connection with you. And that's really my favorite part about working for this company after I've worked there for so long. It's really those connections and that sharing of culture that you make, that really the company creates an environment where you can do that, and it's hard to think of another way you would be connecting with people actually living in a completely different place, speaking a completely different language, and it's just a really, really powerful thing. If you've been listening to this and you're looking into applying to VIPKid, then I would say just go for it. It only takes 30 seconds to fill out an application, and it could totally change your life like it completely changed mine. So the application is linked in the description box below, and also you can DM me on Instagram or leave me a comment or email me if you have any questions, like even if you're not applying and you're just looking into the company, if you're a new teacher, whatever your kind of situation or status is, I would be more than happy to help you and get you moving along on your VIPKid journey. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I really hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye guys!